Okay. I love you, 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 love you,
What's going on, guys? SlyPie here. Today I am with my brother Hudson.
Yo.
And we are going to be reviewing my brand new custom Ignited plushies. I made these with the X-Smart plushies. So these are the very first X-Smart custom plushies, at least on my channel. And so I just decided to go with these because they already made the Withereds, and the Ignited models are literally just the Withered models, even more withered. And so I decided, you know, what's the point of buying, you know, regular old 2016 Funko plushies when already half the job is done for me here. And I just think they look significantly better. I know on the poll that I posted on my community tab that you guys said I should refurbish the old ones, but when I went to do that, I just kind of realized they're too messed up to refurbish, and it's just kind of like the techniques that I used for making them back in 2018 are just, they're too much hot glue. It's just hard to take apart, and it would just generally look bad. So I decided to just make fully new ones, and that way I can also make a video comparing them. Yes, link in the description for that video, or up here in the top right corner. You can watch that video of me comparing my old 2018 ones to my brand new 2024 ones, and you can see the 6-year difference between how good I was back then compared to now. But yeah, we're gonna be going over each of these characters, kind of talking about how I made them, and pointing out small details, and just generally reviewing them for you guys. Now, if you want to learn and make these characters yourself, I have 4 DIY videos up on my channel right now. You can get the link for those in the description. I'll put a playlist in the description and the pinned comment, so you can go watch each video on how to make these guys. You can order your own X-Smart plushies. I don't know where to get them. I think they have a website, but for legal reasons, I can't link you guys to the website. But you guys know where to get them, and you can go get those and make your own customs and follow the DIY videos. It's super easy. It doesn't look as it's not as hard as these guys look. It's generally a really easy build. I built all of these guys in 1 to 2 days, very short period of time, really easy customs. But yeah, no, so click the link in the description or the pinned comment for those DIY videos, and let's get right into this review. Alright, so first here we got Ignited Freddy. What do you think about Ignited Freddy, Hudson?
It's pretty good so far between the 6 years ago you made.
But starting off here on the head, we'll just start with the eyes. These eyes are made out of white leather, and then these black parts are drawn on, as you guys can see in the DIY, which I was able to pull off the really cool, like, Springtrap ignited eye that the Igniteds are using, which looks really cool. And then moving on to his ear over here, I put wires in here, obviously, and then this is just a foam piece with the silver fabric wrapped around it, sewn in there. So this is all sewn in really nice. I actually glued the hat down to the head because it kept scrunching up like this, and I just wanted it to actually just be glued down on the head, which looks really great. The eyebrows are embroidered, but I didn't do this. This was done by X-Smart. And then I decided to add the little frowny bits for his eyelids, because as you can see in the new Ignited Collection model, it appears, and remember, I'm working off of concept images here, so this is, I'm making these videos and filming these videos and making these customs a week before the demo is actually released on August 2nd. But these eyes were like this on the model. I didn't notice that on the original Ignited Freddy model, and it's definitely not on the Withered Freddy model, so I decided to add the frowning, and it honestly makes it look a lot more cartoony and fun, and I really like it. Moving on to the endoskeleton jaw here. This is a foam piece right here, as you can see in the tutorial, just with the silver fabric wrapping around it. And let me fix the focus here, guys. The teeth are just gray felt, which I think work because the teeth are a little bit lighter. They're not exactly white, but they aren't the same color as this. And then I put in wires on the back of his head here to kind of show that, you know, his bottom jaw was completely ripped off. This top part here is just a flat piece of that silver fabric with more teeth, and they're connected by just this little cylinder, which I found is just the best way to simulate a jaw on a plushie without getting too crazy. And then around the back here, I just have a nice thick piece of that silver fabric connecting the head and the body together. And here's the trick, guys. The lower jaw, the endoskeleton jaw, is actually glued on here. That's why this head is able to kind of stay up and stay afloat. And while it's a tiny bit wobbly, a little bit, it's still no more wobbly than any other plushie, and I think it's fine. I mean, it works for the character. His head's always bobbing around like this in the game anyway. But yeah, no, it looks really good. I actually built upon that design when we get to Chica, and as you can see on Chica here, the head is a lot less wobbly. I actually put I double layered the fabric, so I cut out the fabric here, and then I glued felt in on the inside, so it was more firm rather than this squishy neck that he has here, which makes it a little bit more wobbly, but again, I don't mind it. The teeth under here are all foam cutouts, and I thought this would look the best to kind of get that Withered Freddy teeth look, and it just looks really good. It curves up just like Withered Freddy's, and it looks great. Moving on to the body here, we have the X-Mart embroidery. This isn't my embroidery, this is just withering done by them. The only animatronic I added withering to was Chica, because Ignited Chica has significantly more withering. I might end up adding some more withering to Foxy here, but I don't think so. I think keeping them simplistic is kind of the best way to go with plushies. You know, you got the tie here, and then these are their wires, but I added my own wires. I have some on this leg, and then some on top of this arm, and then some back here. Freddy is definitely the one that I added the least amount of wires to, because I felt like he already had a lot of wires sticking out. And then on the feet here, I had cut out this pattern and added the silver bottom halves of his legs, which he's missing the endoskeleton on both of his legs on the bottom half, and then he's also missing half of his arm and his hand. So that looks really good. Really happy with that, and yep, that's Freddy. I think he looks really good. This is also drawn in with marker to give it that more iconic Withered Freddy shape. Thought I should add that, but yeah, that it looks pretty good. That's Withered Freddy, and we will now move on to Withered Bonnie. All right, moving on, we have Withered Bonnie, and this guy probably took the least amount of time out of all four of them, and that's mainly because his head was just very easy to do. I mean, this is basically just the regular X-Mart head with a cut ear and a lot more added wires, so this was fairly simple. Also, I added the dots, and I replaced the endoskeleton mouth just to be more consistent with all the other plushies, because originally it was literally just a piece of fabric sewn in with more of these white teeth, and I just wanted it to be more consistent with all the other Ignited characters. I also added some wiring here and here. William Afton clearly cut off half of his face here with his axe. I mean, that's the only way you're getting this clean of a cut. Look at that, that's perfect. And then on the body here, I tried to emulate the endoskeleton as much as I could, so I made the whole body silver. He's a little bit fat because this fabric that I used, I later realized that adding felt on the inside of it will give it a better shape, because this fabric is a lot more elasticy than the one that X-Mart actually used. The one that X-Mart actually used has a lining on the inside, so it's the same fabric, but it has a different lining, and so adding more, double layering the fabric makes it better, but you know, that's why he's a little bit chubby, a little bit fat. So I tried to fix that best I could, but yeah, he just kind of came out like this, and we're gonna go with it. And he's also got this arm joint. I wish I would have used Sharpie and made little dots around here, but it's fine. The least Sharpie the better, because Sharpie just comes off, and I've stopped using it in a lot of my plushies because it rubs off and it gets everywhere and it gets all over your hands, and no one likes that. That's not fun. He's got wires all over him because, you know, this dude is missing half of his exoskeleton, so he's got all of this stuff exposed. So I wanted to make sure to add so many wires to just show how destroyed this dude really is. And we got half of his leg here as an endoskeleton with his regular foot, and then he's missing his foot over here. But yeah, he looks really good. These are the original wires. Any wires that are skinnier than this are my wires. He's got the original bow tie still, and yeah, he's looking pretty good. I also made this joint back here But yeah, Withered Bonnie is definitely the most simple out of all 4 of them, and he still took 2 days to make, but it was more like 1.5. He just had a lot less planning and stress behind making him. I kind of knew exactly what I was going to do the whole time, while with characters like Foxy and Freddy and Chica, I had to experiment and kind of take some risks. But yeah, now we're going to be moving on to Chica. Alright guys, now we are at Ignited Chica. Alright Hudson, what do you think about Ignited Chica?
I like just the feet because claw.
You like the feet because of the claws. Yeah. Alright, you heard it here first. Hudson likes the feet because of the claws. I couldn't agree more. The feet are really cool. The claws are great. I'm trying to get it to focus here. She has I was able to do this mouth really fast because it's literally just the same mouth as Freddy. All I did is I ripped off half of her head. I added these withering because I noticed on the actual model, I had literally very few model pictures to work off of. Like Withered Bonnie, I literally just had a really dark picture to work off of. It's very Withered Foxy. Or Ignited Foxy. I don't know why I'm saying Withered. Ignited Foxy, I practically had nothing to work off of. So we'll see how accurate he is when the game comes out. But I added these withering spots because it looks really accurate, and I also noticed that she's missing an eye. She only has one of these glowing eyes, which is really interesting. That's different than the old Ignited Chica model. This looks really cool as well. I kind of copied the X-Smart teeth shape, so I went with that shape and glued those in, and then let me get it to focus. Moving on over here, we have the endomouth, and this is really cool because it actually closes properly. Unlike Freddy's, it fully closes on top of each other, which is really cool. You get that really big SpongeBob overbite. And then I also added a ton of wires under her head to really simulate that her bottom jaw was aggressively ripped off of her face. And so, I want to make sure there's something really, it looks like there's something really missing on her face. And then these nostrils are embroidered by Xmart. That's not me. And then you have all these wires all over her body. These are Xmart's wires. And then I added, her missing half of her arm, and then she's missing a full arm, and then her leg, and I just wanted to really put wires in every part of this build. Now, I know the Igniteds are significantly more like splotchy and dirty and like messed up, but in my comparison video, I'll show with my 2018 Igniteds, I used a lot of Sharpie. I just find that that's a really messy technique, and I think just having them like this is more plushy-like, even though, her bib, you can barely see the Let's Eat wording in the actual, or on the actual model, because it's just covered with all this black goop, which I can only assume is like burn marks or something. But I didn't touch it because I don't want to, I thought maybe putting some Sharpie on like a paper towel or something and like smudging it in would look good, but I just didn't want to mess around with it. I like keeping my plushies clean, and I've stopped using Sharpie in a lot of builds. Even these aren't fully Sharpie. This is, let me get it to focus. This is black fabric glued on with Sharpie around it. And so, yeah, it looks really good, and I'm proud. I'm proud with Chica. And again, if you guys want to learn how to make her, the link will be in the description for the DIY video. You just got to get your own Xmart plushie, and this is not a sponsored video, by the way, and no way is this sponsored, but yeah, you go get your plushie, whatever. You can use a regular Funko one, and just follow the tutorial and follow the tips that I give. Generally, the tips that I give and everything that I show, it's like a full in-depth tutorial, like it was a step-by-step while I was building it, so it's really in-depth, but the tips that I show generally can be translated to any Funko plushie. It's a very easy build. It's just a little time consuming. But yeah, now we're going to be moving on to last but certainly not least, Foxy. All right, what do you think about Foxy, Hudson?
Foxy, just compare the old one, just different, but
different.
Yeah, between the old one, just the eyes is when it's similar.
Yeah, definitely very similar.
Yeah. But the eyebrow just not there.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, because he doesn't actually have eyebrows, but I just didn't want to remove that. Yeah, so this time, on my original Ignited Foxy, I had cut the mouth open, but only to here. And so the mouth, you know, was just kind of like barely open. I'll show that real quick. It was just barely open, and I didn't like that. For this design, I literally drew around the entire head and cut it in half. And then I sewed it together with black pieces and then sewed it back together to make this actual really cool, like accurate Withered Foxy shaped head. And then, you know, these teeth are just felt, glued in. And I think it looks really good. It chomps together really well. It has a really good bite. So, really cool. And you can open up the mouth really wide, which is awesome, which we'll be able to get really good jump scare shots like, rah, I want to get really cool jump scare shots in this series. So if you guys are looking forward to that, there will be a Joy of Creation plush series coming very soon to celebrate this Five Nights at Freddy's 10th anniversary. But yeah, no, this is really cool. He's rah, bah! It's gonna make for some really cool jump scares. And same with Freddy. He also has a really cool bite. All these jump scares are gonna be really awesome. Chica will have a really cool one. It's gonna be great. And then Withered Bonnie will just be, or Ignited Bonnie will just be classic Withered Bonnie and just not jump scare you. Just go, hey, how's it going? Like, get out of here. But yeah, no, this looks really cool. I think the separated jaw definitely makes it look a lot more like Withered Foxy. And then obviously we have the cool leather eyes again. We took away his ear and put the wires, which looks really good. And then moving on to the body here, we have a complete endoskeleton body, which I think looks really great. This is darker fabric glued onto the top here, which makes for a really nice endoskeleton look. One day, guys, I will learn embroidery. One day I'll get an embroidery machine. But that day is no time soon. And then all these wires, I wanted to really get a lot of wires in here because he's just supposed to be absolutely destroyed. Now, something different on this plushie that I didn't have on my last is he actually has a hook, and this is Xmart's hook. But it was nice. It's a nice cutout and better than anything I could have made. So yeah, this is really nice. He's got a nice little hook, and then we have the nice embroidered legs from Xmart, which just gives a beautiful flair to this plushie. And you know, he's still got all of his waist piece here, just like in the game. And then I had to add this piece on the back of his head onto the actual pattern. This isn't actually on the pattern, it's my own piece. And I did that because that way his head can lean forwards a little bit, giving it that Withered Foxy look where he's just always staring you dead in the eyes, which is horrifying. But yeah, no, this is gonna make for some really cool scenes, really cool jump scares. You know, he's just dum 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 diddly dum 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 diddly dum 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 dum. Ah! Yeah, it's gonna be great. But this is awesome. I think that the head shape definitely does Withered Foxy justice and looks a lot like the actual Withered Foxy model. So I'm just really happy with the way that Withered Foxy turned out. I had very low hopes for him, but I definitely was able to pull something really cool and unique off with his head shape here. But yeah, that was Withered Foxy, and that concludes our review video. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this review. If you want to learn how to make these plushies yourself, then check out my DIY videos in the description. There is a tutorial for each one of these plushies in the description, so if you want to learn how to make them, then go watch those videos. Even if you don't want to learn how to make them, they're pretty cool videos. Highly recommend checking them out. Also, check out the video of me comparing them to my old 2018 customs. There's a lot of things that are different, and to be honest, it's a massive improvement. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy. Please consider subscribing. It does help me out a lot. And like the video if you did. Comment down below which one of the animatronics was your favorite, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Later!
All I wanna do